can stand for values, beliefs, virtues that improve your life and improve those lives around you. Accept the calling of masculinity. Better men on a path to become the best man possible. This is the Better Man channel, where our objective is to stand for our values, to stand for our morals, to stand for what it means to be a man and live out the masculine role that we were created to live in, to be the king of our kingdoms, and to stand firm in our beliefs and establish a backbone which the rest of society can stand upright upon. We now live in a society where indignation is common. We are constantly annoyed and even seem to be searching for reasons to be offended. And we've come to berate sense with nonsensical rants. We see that in riots and protests and the looting and the ignorance of an entitled generation. The proliferation of entitled assholes seems to grow on the daily basis. And if we want to see a society that prevails in honor, we've got to begin standing for something. We've got to establish a backbone. But if I asked 10 men on the streets today, I believe, what they stood for, I think it would take them a moment. They would have to ponder that. They may have to piece together, well, I believe in this, I believe in that. Yeah, that sounds good. I think I believe in this. But if we want to be examples, if we want to lead by example and be the men that we're capable of, we have to have a clear and concise definition of what we stand for. But many times we don't even know what our beliefs are. We don't know what we stand for. I stand for this, maybe. Yeah, that sounds good. But again, a man has a clear-cut definition of who he is, what he stands for, and he's firm in that. And we now live in a society where it's cool or it's politically correct to accept everything but stand for nothing. Everybody is accepting the new ideals, the new beliefs, the new roles that society tries to place on us, but nobody stands for anything. And the old saying, if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything, rings true in society now. We have nobody standing upright in the backbone of values and beliefs and virtues. And they berate the people. They put down, they're hostile towards the people that have a backbone in their values and their beliefs and that stand firm in who they are. And if we want to combat this entitled generation, we've got to begin to establish a code of honor. And not only that, we've got to make it exclusive. And that may seem counterintuitive, counterproductive. We're going to set a code of honor that excludes people, yet we want to encourage them to be better. But here's the deal. Honor is not inclusive. If it's inclusive, it's not honor, because the very validity of honor is only justified by meeting excellent standards. So we set this higher level code of conduct so that we may encourage men in society to raise their efforts to be included. This entitled generation of everybody gets a trophy is the downfall of society. We've got to encourage them to raise their standards. We live in a world today where everybody seems that just by birth you should be included, that you should have the privilege without meeting the standards. So as men, we've got to establish a code of honor where if you don't meet the standards, if you're not attempting to become a better person, if you're not attempting to do the right thing, if you're not attempting to contribute to society, you do not get to reap the privilege of being a man. We establish a code of honor that is exclusive in hopes of encouraging this entitled lost generation to raise their efforts, to step up to the plate and say, who can I be today? And so it comes down to, what do we stand for? What do I stand for? How can I use courage, strength, honor, discipline to stand for something that's going to contribute to me, to family, to my peers, to my community, and to society as a whole? We see it. We live in that entitled bullshit generation. If we want to overcome the bullshit, we've got to begin to stand for something, to erect an upright backbone that the spineless generation so desperately needs to see. We overcome their ignorance with virtue, We overcome their ignorance with honor. We overcome their ignorance with strength. And we become the example that they need to see. We are men. We stand for our values. We stand for honor. We stand for the courage to do the right thing. We stand for the strength to be strengthened intellectually, to be strengthened physically, so that we may progress, so that we may persevere and become the men that we know we're capable of, and be an example to society. Accept the honorable role of being a man and stand for values, beliefs, virtues that improve your life and improve those lives around you. Accept the calling of masculinity. I love you guys. You will hear from me next episode.